Hello and welcome to Tony Dock Station and the second live stream of Train Simulator 2020. There's a couple of things I want to do today that I didn't get to do last week, and I wanted to do this as sort of probably the final one before I sort of get back onto doing my actual layout videos. So don't worry, this isn't taking over the channel. This is me just doing something I enjoy, and if you enjoy it too, then that's all great at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, so thanks for stopping by, thanks for staying with me. As I say, we're going to just quickly make sure all of the settings are up and running. Would anybody able to let me know just if the audio's in sync? Because last week I sort of noticed it was slightly out of sync, so as long as you can all hear me okay, that's the main thing. There's nothing worse than having audio out of sync. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. What I want to do first is what I desperately wanted to do last week but couldn't find, and I've had a look around and I've managed to find it. I was talking a lot about the TVM signalling, and I kept going on and on and on about there being a tutorial video for it, and I couldn't find it, and I found it. So it's only a quick short one, but I wanted to do the tutorial just to explain better the TVM signalling, because I spoke about it last week, but I may have been sprouting out a load of rubbish. No, not a lot of rubbish, but I wanted to make sure that the stuff I was telling you was correct. So I wanted to go through this because it probably will explain it a bit better as well. If you see me keep eyeing down, as I say, because I've got the game full screen, my eyes on the stream and the comments are down there. So we're going to sort of go through this and just sort of get a better explanation for the TVM signalling. So in this scenario, you'll be learning to read the TVM signal display in your cab. TVM signalling is used on the high-speed section of this route between Ebbsfleet and St Pancras. So like I said, this area here on the cab is the TVM stuff. So between Ebbsfleet and St Pancras, sorry, there is TVM signalling because the Eurostar also uses that section of track. And then sort of once you leave Ebbsfleet and Kent bound, you go back to BR colour signalling. So that's sort of the idea. We're going to get through this. So between Ebbsfleet and St Pancras, you'll notice these TVM block markers. These signs mark the limit of a block section on lines signalled with TVM cab signalling. So where you would see a BR colour signal, you see this on a flag, and it's basically like a radio beacon. And between each of those is a section, a block effectively. The TVM displays directly in front of you in the cab. It says, there it is. Currently it's blank, but this will change as you start driving. Below the TVM signal, below the TVM display is the digital speed display that shows your current speed in kph. It will be important to keep an eye on this as the TVM shows speeds in kph rather than mph, which is shown here on the user interface. So that's what I was sort of talking about last week, about having both up to keep an eye, because it is sort of European effectively, because as I said, Eurostar uses that, so it is all in kilometers per hour, and then from Ebbsfleet out it goes back to miles per hour. So we get three kinds of information: a line speed, a warning, and an execution. The following will give you examples of what you may see whilst driving and how you should respond. So 270 kilometers. The line speed section displays numbers on a green background and can either be static or flashing. The number displayed is the maximum operating line speed, and you are able to proceed at that speed. Flashing indicates that the next block section requires a decrease in speed. So that's pretty much what I was talking about last week. The warning section displays black numbers on a white diamond surrounded by, a black background, and will either be static or flashing. This section indicates the speed you should be doing by the next signal. Again, that's sort of what I was going on about last week. In the example image, you would need to be doing 160 kilometers by the next signal. Again, flashing indicates that there will be a decrease in speed within the next block. The execute section displays a black background with the white numbers and will either be static or flashing. The section indicates the speed that you should currently be doing. The example image shows you should be doing 80. Three solid red squares is often displayed if the track section is occupied, so i.e. a red signal. You should proceed between 0 and 30. Okay, so not a red signal. Ah, that's the red signal. If yeah, that's a red basically. So that's pretty much it. I won't go through the actual drive, but I just wanted to sort of explain about TVM signaling, and we may come back to it and do a drive on that line a little bit later. But what we're going to do is, because we've done that last week, we'll do something different today. We're going to do a standard drive on the Chatham main line, and we're going to do something that's a little bit interesting. So I chose this one earlier. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's under Korea. Yes, Chatham main line. Morning commute. Yes, I chose this one. It's not too long, but it gives us something to do rather than just driving. There should be some issues. So the train we're controlling today is a commuter train running from Bromley South to London Victoria. Signal in Bromley South and a signal in London Victoria are not working normally. Dispatch is aware, and you will be contacted by the signaller to gain permission to pass these signals of danger. So something a little bit different rather than just driving from station to station. But yeah, so if there's something in particular that you want to see, please do just give me a shout in comments. Let me know. Be quite happy to sort of show particular parts or different areas or whatever there is. So yeah, feel free to jump in the comments. Not that far away until we all get what Santa's been bringing us under the tree. Hoping, I was saying last week, hoping you've all managed to get your wish list sorted and you'll be getting what you've asked for. I think we spoke last week about what sort of people are getting, but if there's anybody here that wasn't here last week, please, or even if you were here last week, just let us know what you've asked for. I'd be interested to hear what people are trying to go for this year. So, right, it's almost 7:30 and many commuters are waiting at the platform at the South Eastern. It starts here at Bromley South and ends in London Victoria. No problems in the line are reported, but the signal here at platform has failed. Let the passengers board, depart at 33. Press tab before you pass the signal. So, that one, the door's open. We've got 30 seconds or so. Okay, so that signal's broken, so that's what we need to get permission to cross once we're boarded here. So this timer here is once passengers are boarded. We need to leave in a few seconds. So once we're boarded, I'll be able to get permission. Come on, there we go. Right, request to pass the signal of danger is approved. Doors closed. Let's get out of here. We've actually got a bit of AI traffic on this as well, which is quite nice rather than just sort of being on our own. Michael Henfrey, nothing exciting, just an MVE drive for my new build that I plan to do next year. Yes, I am also speeding. I'm in and ahhing about desperately getting an NVMe drive. Are you going to go for, is it the, I think it's PCIe 4? Apparently there's not much major difference between that and the 3, so I've been looking at getting a sort of one of those drives just to stick all my, I've said before, my flight simulator stuff on. So we've got a yellow signal coming up here. So expecting the next signal to be red, so I can't tell if the red's actually before the platform. No, that's not before the platform, is it? That's at the end of the platform. But yeah, Michael Henfrey, tell me about the rest of your build. What's it going to be mainly for? Is it for gaming or sort of like working or? It's a little bit of an upgrade, but I think they will get faster in upcoming years as they develop the tech. For now, I'm tempted to stick with PCIe 3. Yeah, exactly that. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. Going for the 3. It's for gaming and streaming mostly, yeah. Yeah, I think go for the 3. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. What sort of stuff are you going to be playing with it anyway? Okay, so we've got the yellow. So make sure the doors are actually closed. Got to do this every time. Yeah. So we're about 2 minutes behind at the moment already, which is not good. They do punish you for like doing too quick accelerations and that as well, so that's why I'm not just booting straight out of the platform. I'm sort of building it up gradually, because you will sort of get penalised for that. Currently looking at a Ryzen 37X, 32GB RAM, 2070 Super, but things might change before I finish saving. Play sim games mostly, so this farm sim, flight sim, etc. Some RPG. Mate, so flight sim, that's mainly what I built my PC for. And I mean, I don't know what your sort of level of detail with the flight sim and stuff is, because that can be a sort of a black hole in terms of scenery and craft and everything. I have to have a really powerful PC because I have quite a lot of real world sort of scenery and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that setup, I mean again, depending on what you're playing, I use X-Plane, and at the moment they're sort of saying that the best processor is an Intel one rather than AMD, but they're going to be releasing something like a patch called Vulkan, which may change that. So I don't know. It's all sort of personal preference, really. But that setup sounds good to me, my friend. Double yellow. I'm going to overshoot this platform. Oh God. I'm going to have to stick the emergency brakes on and take penalisation for this because I'm still going to overrun. I was too busy talking. It's so annoying. I'm way over as well. Embarrassing. It's always when you're on stream as well. I was too busy talking and looking down, didn't see the platform coming up. And we're late. Anyway, okay, so yeah, what I was talking mainly about there is, yeah, my PC, I've got a i7 9700, and a 32GB RAM as well, and I've got a 1080 Ti, but that's just because my flight sim is the main thing. I really do sort of need that. Takes up a lot of stuff in X-Plane. I think Microsoft, yeah, that's the other thing. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm holding on with sort of skepticism with that because I just don't know whether it's going to be a massive success or a bit of a flop. So I'm going to get it and I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm just not holding my breath for it yet. Ryzen for me is better due to multitasking like stream sessions and a few less FPS. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It is all personal preference. I mean, the war between Intel and AMD it's closing again now anyway, isn't it? So yeah, as I said, it's personal preference. But yeah, good luck with the build, man. Let us know how it goes, and I'll be interested to sort of see what you're coming up with. Are you going to be streaming on sort of YouTube like this, or are you going to do Twitch, or is it XSplit, the other one? I think there's a few sort of streaming platforms. So we've got speed restriction coming up here, 40 and a platform, so well, rein back the speed this time and not completely mess it up. Still trying to learn on the fly and stuff at the moment. Yeah, it can be a real learning curve. I mean, I've been doing it for a couple of years now and I'm still learning. So what sort of aircraft are you going to be flying anyway? You going to sort of do like general aviation, like sort of little Cessna type stuff, or are you going to want to do like sort of commercial airliners and stuff like that? Where's the 8 car stop? There. Yeah, that was about 1 billion times better than last time. I prefer GA plans, but I'd like to learn the commercial stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've spent the best part of, say, nearly over a year now learning the Airbus A320. So yeah, just don't rush it. Just enjoy it and take your time and have a few dodgy landings every now and then and learn from them. So just yeah, don't stress too much about it. Just enjoy it. And that's the main thing. Same with this really. I'm by no stretch of the imagination the world's best streamer or gamer or anything like that, but I'm enjoying it. And if people want to come along and see what I'm doing and enjoy it too, then that's what it's all about. Okay, so we're going to push this up to 60 once the rear of the train passes the speed restriction. So yeah, we're going to be nowhere near that. So you'll see this from 40 will jump to 60 now, there. And again, I mentioned it before, but just for anyone who doesn't know, that little ping is us going over the AWS ramp, letting us know that that signal is green and there's no acknowledgement required. Okay. Next platform. Start dropping some speed off. Okay, so we've made up about just under a minute. And we are getting there, back on track, no pun intended. So it's, yeah, the little AWS ramps are giving us sort of pings that we don't need to acknowledge if the next signal ahead is green. If there's a change in green, a warning, or yellow, double yellow, red, or hazard, or track deviation, anything, we'll get a warning that we have to acknowledge and sort of bear in mind what it is. So we are getting spammed. I need an admin to get rid of these. Right, got rid of that. Sorry that you had to persevere with that, but I didn't have an admin in the chat to deal with that. Unfortunately that sticks on the chat screen, but hey ho. And the time we just made up, we've probably lost. Oh no, we're doing okay. We're due at 7:46 and we're less than a minute, gonna be less than a minute late. Michael Henfrey, yeah, no worries at all, man. No worries at all. See you when you get back. It's nice to get spammed in a chat every now and then. It makes me feel like I've made it. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is as we're sort of coming out the tunnel, the platform station is almost immediately, and it is on a very slight downhill. So travelling below the speed limit just because we don't want to overshoot like we did before, which was very embarrassing. So once is fine, twice, no, we won't be doing it twice. So that's letting us know there's no acknowledgement required. So ideally what I want to do is be entering the platform at below 30 miles an hour. With the downhill bit probably just a smidge under 30. That's the plan. But yeah, for those that are here, as I said, thanks for joining. It is genuinely appreciated. So I'm just doing this really, and if you're enjoying the stuff, then that's what it's mainly. I'm here having a good time, enjoying what I'm doing, and if you are too, then that's a Brucey bonus. But so I'm not going to make this super long one. Unfortunately, I've got to be up very early for work tomorrow morning as well, which is no fun. But we've got to pay the bill somehow, haven't we? Oh, that's going to be right on the money. Maybe a smidge over, but let's have a look. Oh, that's almost perfect. Happy with that. But yeah, so this event is, we've had a couple of signals to deal with, which is quite good. As I said, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different rather than just stop, start driving along the route. So we've done something that's they have a little bit of sort of problems to negotiate, but the ones that have got the real intense stuff, obviously the scenarios last a bit longer. So maybe another day we'll sort of do one stream with one of these big long scenarios, if that's maybe what people want to see. Right, so again, we haven't got far between the next stop. It's like half a mile away, so we're going to boot up, but we're not going to get anywhere near our maximum speed. Probably at the next signal I'll just drop it down and we'll coast in, and probably still have to apply brakes, to be honest. So I want to be below 30 entering the platform. Pretty much going to be about right, hopefully. Maybe a bit short, but again, pretty much bang on the money. Happy with that. We're not embarrassing ourselves anywhere near as much today, which is good. That's the other thing as well you've got to bear in mind, is that this is an 8-car train, so your speeding, your acceleration and braking is going to be vastly different to the sort of sometimes 3 or 4 coach runs that these do. So that's another thing you've got to bear in mind. Bradley Harwood, hi, thanks very much for stopping in. Glad to see you. Thanks for being part of the stream. Let's get out of here. We are... we've lost some time again. I think that's where I was dealing with that unfortunate troll, but we're doing okay. This is the other thing I mentioned last week, is that you can't sort of see it as much here, but the sort of the differentiation between sort of the focus, so you can see the cabin now sort of blurred and the outside is focused, whereas if I now sort of bring it in, the cab focuses and the outside blurs. It sort of gives you a point of focus. Unfortunately this seat is a bit far forward, but That's the other sort of thing I like about this. I think that's a change they made in 2020. So again, look, we've got a speed restriction coming up ahead, but even more so, we're about to get a warning for a yellow. So here's the buzzer. Acknowledge it, say, yep, we know something's coming. We've seen the double yellow, so I've taken the speed off. And there is a speed change of 45 coming up ahead anyway, so we want to be below that. Here's the next warning. Acknowledge it. And we can see here the speed warning for 45 up ahead. So we'll be dealing with that. We'll drop below that so we don't accelerate up to it. And then the warning here for our single yellow and our speed restriction of 45. So we're below 45, slowing for the yellow, expecting our next signal to obviously be red. So again, want to enter the platform at about 30. Acknowledge the warning. Put a bit more stopping power on. Really don't want to run the red here. It's one thing running a green, but do definitely not want to be running a red. Here's the 8-car stop there, so I just want to make sure we do have enough power to get up there. Yeah, we do. I can bring in the full service now. And the other thing is you've got to make sure that obviously all of your carriages are on the platform, which we are. Okay, so we are less than 30 seconds behind schedule now, so we're doing all right with this one. Doors open, please. Oh, they are open. Some of them haven't though. Strange. Game glitch, I think. Back. I always end up running late when doing passenger runs. Yeah, and that's why I like doing them. Yeah, I've got a couple of freight runs on here as well, but you know, you do have a bit more time sensitivity with this. So we've got green signal now. Let's get out of here. But yeah, so the freight stuff you end up dealing with, freight is nicer, you can take your time. Yes, exactly that. And sometimes you do have to deal with a lot more signalling in the game. I'm not sure if that's replicative of real life for sure, but certainly in the game, because if you've got a lot of AI, like sort of computer generated routes running, you'll obviously get stopped and put in around them. But yeah, the passenger runs obviously tend to take priority. So we've still got a speed limit of 45. We're going to wait for the rear of the train to pass the 60, but there's no point getting anywhere near 60 because as soon as we do, well, we got another platform to stop at, so we might as well just sort of let it coast through. Take the power off. Acknowledge the warning coming up, and it's going to be a speed change to 45. We're below that anyway, because we want to be taking the speed off to 30 to enter the platform, as I said. It seems to be about the right speed for this sort of length of train. Brakes on, we should stop quite nicely. No, let's see, that's no good. The rear of the train is not on the platform. Unfortunately, that's about as good as it's going to get. It probably is one of those trains where they're like, please move up the carriage to exit. So we are, again, about 30 seconds behind schedule. We'll get penalised for it, but we've had a few penalties already, so what's 30-second time penalty? Let's get going. Yeah, so we can probably get up to speed on this because we've got quite a bit of distance between them, this and the next station. Which is actually London Victoria, so that's going to be our terminating stop. So we've still got the 45 restriction at the moment. Push it just a bit closer to 45 just so we can try and make our time. Right, I can come off there because we're getting close. It's about as much as I'm willing to push it. But yeah, I do like this game. Yes, you do. Okay, no, you don't have to. You do end up buying a few add-ons and stuff like that. But what game doesn't nowadays? A lot of games tend to be you have to spend money on them in some way. I mean, even just down to like mobile phone games, like you have to buy like virtual currency and things like that nowadays. But what you get in this game for the money, and there's more than a few companies that make add-ons for this, but same with any sort of simulator game really, what you get for the money is pretty good. And if you sort of have the Steam sales and stuff that go on, you never end up paying a lot. Like I got the other day a few bits and bobs of this, and I paid like 20 quid, and I got like 2 routes and 2 locos and a few other little extra bits. So you know, for spending the money, it's pretty good, and that's what I sort of like about this. Okay, so double yellow, acknowledge that. It's going to be obviously us coming in. We were warned about a dodgy signal before Victoria actually. So although we're going to have a speed increase coming up, we're obviously not going to be because we're on the yellows. So we'll actually maybe take a bit more speed off. 60 here, but we're going to sort of stay around the 30 mark. So yellow coming up, so after that we're going to be at a red, so I'm going to take it down to about 30 through the signal. David Spottiswoode, this is excellent. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm really sorry if I've just butchered your name. This is excellent, never seen this before. Well, yeah, thanks very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's Train Sim 2020 for the PC. Yeah, this is the what route did I say this was? This is the Chatham Main Line route at the moment. I'm going to be speeding. I did see the 20. That's fine. We've got this red signal here anyway. Okay, So he did say we need to contact the controller to pass, as there is some signal errors. So we'll contact the controller, request to pass signal at danger approved. So we're still going to go through this at a reasonable pace. Operational error? For what? I got permission to pass through. Why have I just been given an operational error? That's not right. Oh. Even though I got permission, you had to wait for them to contact you, so frustrating. I did it right, but the game had its own things in mind. Now we've got this change here, so 15 miles an hour over the point work. We are below that, which is fine. We see ourselves coming in there as well. It's me, hello! Okay, so we are nearly there, and then after this I've got another idea of what I want to get done, but if again, as I said at the beginning, if there's something in particular you would like to see, speak up now, or forever hold your peace basically. But yeah, I'm happy to show you guys something in particular if that's what you want to see. We are less than 20 seconds late in the end. Overall, not too bad. Quite happy with that in the end, apart from the other mistakes we made, but we actually made up our time. We was due at 2 minutes and 30 seconds past 8, and we made it 2 minutes and 47 seconds, so 17 seconds late in the end. Not too bad to make up for that. Not the smoothest run, but we finally arrived. Scenario complete. Exactly what I just said. It's like it just read my mind. So that was something different. Let's see how much I got penalised. Speeding. The overness, the emergency brake, which I knew was going to be a problem. And then I was upset about this, the operational error. Because I did get clearance for that, just I didn't do it the way that the game wanted. Hey ho, right. The next thing I want to do now was under the, I think it was this one. No, it wasn't that one at all. This one, and then number 6. Just something a little bit different. We're going to do a bit of a freight run. We've just done a passenger one, so I thought we'd do a freight one. This should be a relatively easy one, but just to get an idea, we're going to start at Luton and drive a freight train northwards as far as Bedford. We're going to be driving a Class 66 in England, Wales, Scotland livery. And as I said, this is a difficulty easy, short little run, just so we can sort of have a look at a bit of a freight side of things in the game. So I knew that I had a Class 66 in here. I was saying about it last week, I couldn't find it. I think I had some error with the way that my things were installed, so I sort of, during the last stream and this, rebooted a few things, and things appear to have sort of come back. So let's have a look at what we're doing today. I afternoon, welcome to the cab of the Class 66. These cement wagons are being taken to early sidings in the Peak District, but will only be taking them as far as Bedford. Remember not to exceed 60 due to the wagon's speed restrictions. Right you are. In order to release or apply the train brakes in the Class 66, the lever must always be moved to 100% of its travel. There we go. This will set a target level for the brake application as shown with the outer needle on the brake pipe control gauge, which is this one. The braking system slowly matches the target application, and the amount of braking effort applied is indicated with the inner gauge needle. If you're unsure, there are a couple of minutes you can use for practice before the ground signal clears to allow you on your way, and the rest of the details are in the manual. Acknowledge the AWS, release the braking power. Here we go. Headlights. Yep, they're all set correctly. And now we just need to wait for our signal. So this is what I'm talking about. You see blur here, focus out here, and now focus here, blur out there, which is a nice little feature. Keep your feet off. Interesting. Come on, Mr. Signal. There we go. Let's get going. And obviously, one thing, as I said before, you've got to bear in mind the weight of things. You don't want to go too hard, too fast. And also, that's the other thing about speed. I'm going to bring this up to about 10. I'm going to take the power off and see how this slows itself. And it doesn't slow itself dramatically. It seems to coast for quite a while. So I know that my braking application will have to reflect that. So I'll take this up to about 10, take it off, and I'll apply some brakes and see how that affects the braking. Okay. So I can get a good feel for the controls of this vehicle. I'm going to take this up again to probably around 12, see if we can't get it to coast around there. So we've got a speed limit increase now. Just get it up and get it moving. So though the speed limit is 70, like I said at the beginning, we've got to make sure we keep it under 60 because of the wagons. You can see it's taking a while to build up to speed, and so we've really got to keep our eye on the signals for this, because if we suddenly get a yellow thrown at us and knowing the next one's going to be red, we've got to take some speed off really sharpish in order to give it time to slow down. There's pretty much 60. I don't want to go too much over that. So it's holding pretty well. I can just add a bit of power every now and then. Take a bit of power off. Oh, I've got a bonus there for being on time instead of actually having it taken away. Nice. So this sort of power rating here seems to be holding it pretty well. Oh, excuse me. So again, this shouldn't be throwing us any curveballs we shouldn't be expecting. It should just be a nice simple run through. Just to really show the differences in terms of how to drive these freight trains compared to the passenger services. The detailing is nice as well. Like the models are nicely done. They're not like super quick, cheap knockoff stuff. But it's not like the world's best either. But it's nice. Shouldn't really have any AWS things to worry about in this run. We should just have greens through. Should. The key opposite weren't there. Yeah, it's probably a good rate to be holding this at 58.3, and I can tell that we are starting to sort of run downhill here. I will keep an eye on that sort of increasing. So the signals there were yellow and they've gone to green, so I don't know if that was for us or a different track, but certainly there was a yellow that just went to green there. So keeping an eye for up ahead in case we do start running into some yellows. We're picking up speed, but not at an alarming rate, so that's pretty acceptable. Okay, here's the yellows. Oh no. Not yellow at all. It is green. Very slightly picking up speed, but for the most part, staying quite well. So for people that are here, what's people's favourite type of loco then? Are we sort of passenger or freight? And with that, within passenger, I suppose, yeah, and freight as well, what sort of locomotives do we like? Sort of get a feel for what people's sort of favourite stuff is here. I'm interested to sort of know, because there's always someone comes out with some interesting locos that are sort of sometimes beyond the norms, and I like sort of hearing about those. So let us know what's people's favourites, freights or passengers, and within that, what sort of loco they like. whether that's, you know, old school steam freight or modern diesel freight, or even as said old school steam passengers, or like electric diesel, or even still heritage steam passenger stuff. Let us know sort of what people think. So LA Junction says class 68, and that's your favourite, is it? Got David Spotswood class 47. Got a few diesels coming in. A bit of a diesel myself. I'm a fan of the old 37. I do have a 37 set up with sound. It's the only sound loco I've got. The 68s, 47s, and the 37 from me. And there you have a takers. Ah, yes, another timeliness bonus of 250. Which means we are running lovely on time. Again, still got a speed restriction now of 90, but we are capped at 60 because of our cargo. LA Junction, yes, that is your favourite, 68. What livery? Let's have a go at that. What livery is your favourite in 68? And David Spotswood, what's your favourite livery 47? Mine's going to be for 37. I like blue and yellow. I think mine's the coal sector, the BR grey coal sector. Or is it the Patronus? I think it's the coal sector. So that's what my 37 model is. I really like it. It's all dirtied up and weathered. Again, just looking at this here, we're pretty much out of most of the downhill run. It's starting to level off. It's always just worth keeping an eye on that. Even just touching on one thing I just really enjoy as well is the level of detail they've gone to for the sounds in this as well. Every loco has got a decent sound pack. Even just down to the same like my local line that I spoke about last week. The train, when I first drove it in train sim, I could not believe that they'd replicate the sounds as well as they did, because it makes some quite unique sounds. So they've gone to quite deep, reasonable lengths to replicate the sounds. So that's another thing that I find quite impressive about this. David Spotwood says BR blue or green, can't go wrong with that. Sorry, just acknowledge that. So we've got a speed restriction of 70. We are below that. We can continue at about the speed we're at now. Sorry about that. Yes, BR blue or green. Yeah, I do love a bit of BR blue myself. I prefer the blue over the green. That's my personal preference, but it's my favourite colour, so it might be the bias there. Plus, I think green is the it's pre-blue, isn't it? Like just. So we're going into a 70 into the station, but we're at 60 maximum anyway, and then it'll be 90 again once you leave the station, but we're at max 60 for our train today. It's not going to affect us too much at all. So one thing I do like is standing on a platform in real life and watching a freight train come by. Trans-Pennine Express for LA Junction, nice. This is what I mean, is that people come up with some really sort of interesting sort of personal preferences. Nice. Do either of you have those as models at all? Or are they unfortunately not modelled? I know the 47s are definitely going to be modelled, but it says 68, is that in that? That is in that livery, I think, isn't it? Do you own the models? I think I have a 47 in BR blue actually, David. Unfortunately my stock's been away for a little while. I rebuilt the layout. pretty sure I do have a BR47 in blue. I don't have a 68 though. But I know for sure I definitely don't have a 68. What have we got here? 75, not an issue for us. As you sort of say that me and Michael were sort of speaking about the time difference between the freight and the passenger service. It's a lot more easier on the time. As you see, I've already got 2 time bonuses. And this is a pretty straightforward route just to show you the differences. But if you do one of these sort of more intricate freight routes, you can really have some issues in terms of being held at signals, being put into sidings, letting other services pass. It can be quite interesting in that sense, but I don't want to bore you too much with that sort of stuff just yet. As I said, we may another time do a dedicated stream to just maybe sort of one route, so it doesn't take up too much of people's time. Yes, both. No sound yet. Oh yes. So I'm still dabbling in sound. I've got one, as I said, the 37, which I really do like. But then I sort of started rebuilding my layout, so I sort of put the sound back on hold. But yeah, I definitely do want to be adding a few more sound chips. But yes, do you have a particular sound decoder or file or brand in mind? Mine, I went for a new. I did a video on it a little while ago, my Class 37 sound chip install, but it was a sort of a newish brand, and I got it from Worley, not the year just gone, the year before. That's how long ago I put it in, and I was very happy with the sounds on that actually. The brand name escapes me right now, as I say, because it was just over a year ago. But it's sort of like a it has more than one sound file on it, if that makes sense. You have to choose a CV code to tell it which sound file you want, so it's quite good in that sense, good value for money. You can take it out and put it in a different loco, and you have sound in that as well, rather than being sort of limited to just the one sound file on there. So that's one of the advantages of it. See, just that sound there, it's just nice. It's just the detail that level of detail they've gone to. U-Chews mainly, yeah, nice. I do like the U-Chew sounds. I mean, a lot of people seem to be sort of going that way, and I think where so many more people are stepping onto the market with their own brands of it, it's definitely making it more competitive and giving people a lot more choice, and taking away the monopoly from a lot of people in the industry. I mean, not just with sound decoders. I mean, we can have a whole conversation on this. I mean, for example, what we're driving right now, the Class 66, the whole political dilemma with the models of the Class 66 going on at the moment. You know, that's just another example of sort of what I'm talking about. But yes, the YouTube sounds are pretty good. I've listened to a few of them. See, I don't know if you see that. I don't know if you can see that. We've got the diesel exhaust being generated coming out the roof again. I don't know if you can see it on your sort of screen. But certainly the diesel exhaust is being modelled there. So that's what I mean. These nice little touches that they've gone to. There. following your rebuild. Lots to catch up on though, very helpful. Yeah, it's David. Thanks very much. When you do catch up on it, you'll sort of see where I'm at right now. Yeah, you'll just understand a bit more about what I'm talking about. But yeah, no rush. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos in the first place. It's very, very kind of you. But yeah, so take your time with it, you know. But when you get to where I'm at the moment, you'll see what I mean. Should we give these guys a little toot? Even some of the buildings that they've gone to model as well it's not just a sort of derelict line. There is scenery around it, which is nice. So even other, you know, we've got another 66 with some wagons readied up there. You know, it's a good satisfying simulator. I think that's the word I'd use, satisfying. There are some elements that do leave a bit to be desired, but I think much more than that, and you start stepping into the realms of having to make people need a more powerful PC, which maybe isn't right. The target audience necessarily for this isn't going to have a super duper gaming PC. I'm just lucky that I do have one because I use it for other things as well. But you know, it's relative. You know, you've got to make sacrifices in order to get certain things, and I think the balance of this is nice. It's still satisfying and enjoyable. We're just keeping an eye on this speed here because we are getting pretty close. And we are approaching Bedford. I'm pretty sure that's where the end of our route is for this simulation. And we have got a speed restriction of 50 coming up, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take it down to 50 now, apply a smidge of brakes, get it down to 50 nice and early. Here's the warning for us, the 50, that's what we're taking note of now. We're actually going to be coming to a stop in Bedford. And remember what I said, we want to be approaching the station at about 30, and as we have a long passenger train, so we're going to take this down to 25 and crawl in. Because we've got time on our side, so we're not going to risk going too much. Probably take this up to about 30 for now as we approach the 50 speed restriction. We're way below that. I'd be seeing a 50 if we were carrying on through Bedford, but we're not. We are going to be coming to a stop at Bedford at platform 2. Platform 2. Yep, we can pretty much expect to stay here. Take the power off now because we're pretty much at 30. And we're having some nice slowdown here. Add a bit of power in on the braking. Just get that down a bit quicker to 25. There we go. And now we can actually coast through here. Now we're going to take it all the way to the end of the platform, because that's where our red, no, we have got green there, so we haven't got to worry too much about overrunning. Again, we're about sort of 10 miles an hour here, which is fine. We'll take it to the 10 car stop. just put a bit more brakes on just for security. Okay, I've got the timer there, it's still running. Have I got a bit further to go? Fortunately, you did not complete all of your tasks correctly. Refer to the debrief screen for more. What did I not do? We was Limbury Road slowdown. We was late. 0 seconds late. Times one. Penalty. 250. That's got to be a bug, I'm sure, because we smashed that. Yeah, no, it's fine. We smashed that. Right, we're going to do one last little ditty. Again, something a little bit different. The London to Brighton line, and I picked the Purley Plougher. Just for the difference in weather. So this one is a service bound for Milton Keynes, which usually starts at South Croydon. However, due to the weather, they are running it out of Purley to aid in keeping the line free of snow. The service will run as far as Clapham Junction before a driver train. I think that's before someone takes over. So we're going to give this a go. This is something. So then we've done a normal sort of passenger service, a freight service, and then a bad weather service. And obviously at the beginning of the stream I explained the TVN signalling in a bit more detail as well, and that should give us a nice end as long as this all goes well. But yeah, again, if there is anything that you guys particularly want to see, please, even if it's not in the chat right now, stick it in the comments, and we'll enjoy what we've got. I've just realised I've been looking at the chat in the wrong way. Let me just have a quick flick through, make sure I haven't missed anything. No, I had the top chat on, not the live chat. Anyway, right, so hello driver, today you'll be driving the service bound for Milton Keynes, stopping at Clapham Junction for a driver change. Due to severe weather conditions, you'll be running from Purley instead of South Croydon to aid in keeping the line free of snow. Need to make several stops along the way to Clapham Junction, and good luck, you're now ready to allow passengers onto the train. Let's get those doors open then. It really is coming down. And this is the other thing you've got to bear in mind when driving this is the weather will have an impact on how you drive the train. So we are 4 cars, which means we're not going to be, applying anywhere near as much power as we were before. And we'll definitely put the windscreen wipers on so we can see. And let's get going. And this is all what I was talking about. So you can see this is all blurred here. We've got the focus on the outside. Now if I bring it in, the focus is on here, and the blur goes back to outside. So we've got a 21 hour speed limit here, so let's just make sure we don't overrun that. Keep an eye on that. And we'll be up to 60 in just about a third of a mile. But we have got to try and keep ourselves on time as best we can. So, does anybody here own this game? And what sort of routes do you guys do or like doing if you do have this game? And if you don't have this game, what sort of routes would you do if you had it? Because there's quite a lot. I mean, I don't have every add-on for the game, but I've got a reasonable amount. So there's quite a few different options for all different parts of the country, and again, obviously, it's not just the UK. There are other parts of the world that it simulates. So remember what I said? I want to be about 30 coming into the platform. So I've got some wheel slip going on there because I put far too much braking on. So that's the other thing. And here's the forecast stop. We are past that, but we're not past the platform, so that's fine. Again, just getting used to the differences in the controls there. How much past it are we? There's the stop there. So we're one door widths, but the main thing is that the actual whole train is on the platform, so not too much of a penalty for that. But we definitely did get the wheel slip penalty, so we've got to learn about the brakes. LA Junction, first time seeing it. Okay, that's not a problem. So, what sort of what sort of stuff would you like to see sort of simulated in this? Like, if you could get on and drive this and get onto any sort of route or loco or something, would it be a Class 68? And if so, where would it be that you want to drive that? Again, I'm only going to do 40% power pulling away just because I don't want another wheel slip bonus. Then once we actually get some traction and moving, I can increase the power again. That should hopefully prevent some wheel slipping. Okay, so don't really want to take it all the way up to 60 because we've got to stop soon, so sort of coast it about 50. Again, trying to keep the target. Paddington outbound, and LA Junction is thinking of getting it. Paddington, you know, what line? That may actually already be on here, you know. I'll have to have a look for you after this. Where does what's sort of, I'm not familiar with Paddington all that well. So what sort of destinations would be on Paddington? What are the major stations along that line? And I'll tell you. Junction definitely is thinking of getting it, mate. Honestly, it's a good game. Have a look into it and see if it's what you want it to be. And if it is, yeah, honestly, I'd recommend it. I think it's a good game. I'm so used to looking for the 8-car stop, I just completely missed the 4-car stops. But again, as I said, at least the whole train is on the platform. That's the main thing that you won't get penalised for. Oh, doesn't he look very happy there? He's got a smile on about something. Oh, there's no other passengers in this carriage. We've got it all to ourselves. Past LOL, just like the station. I just play one game at the moment. I need to change. What game is it that you play then, LA Junction? David, I'll have a look after this and see. I'm pretty sure. I'd be surprised if it isn't modelled, or that you can't get it. I'd be surprised, but I don't want to tell you it is if it isn't. So I'll definitely have a look after this little run. So we've got a speed restriction of 45 coming up. I don't want to push too much into it. We're floating around 43, so that's fine for now. Here's the 45. And we want to be down to 30-ish to get into the platform anyway. Is WOW, is that World of Warcraft, or are you just saying WoW at something that I've missed? Like me not getting the braking done in time again. Is the forecast stop? Right, I think we can just pretend that we're at a 6 car or something today, because we keep missing those. 30 is obviously too fast. Next one, 25, maybe even 20. Yeah, World of Warcraft. I've only played that a handful of times, to be honest. But yeah, this is something obviously completely different. So it's nice. That's why I like doing this. And I play I play a bit of PS4 as well. I do like other games on there, and I like breaking up the different styles of games, because it makes you sort of, when you come back to it, enjoy it a bit more, and you sort of get back into it and sort of almost have to not relearn the game, but sort of get back into the muscle memory of the controls and stuff like that. So it's yeah, that's why I sort of like changing up the games. It really is snowing, isn't it? Won't be long and we'll have weather like this down south, I think. When she saying that, yesterday we were in double digits for degrees Celsius, which was very surprising. Okay, so I've purposely kept ourselves at 40 because we've got the 40 restriction coming up here for this bridge. Especially in this weather, it's just so much easier to get the speed down much in advance rather than sort of leaving it to the last minute, which is what I'm doing at these stations. So, station coming up, we want to hit this. Let's try 25 this time, because 30 is definitely too fast. Even though I've not been coming in at 30, but we'll try 25, and if that's still too much, we'll drop down to 20 for Thornton Heath. Here's 25-ish. Give that a go. There's the forecast stop there. This looks a bit better. Yeah, I think that's the number, 25. Look at that. Even just a bit before it. Really, you want the cab level with it, but it's better. We've made it before, and the train's still all on the platform. So that's the best stop yet. Apart from this really happy driver. He really is absolutely loving his job. Anybody got on this carriage yet? No, still an empty carriage. Okay. Up and away. Okay, so we can see we've got a 60 coming up and quite a bit of distance between the next stop, which is Thornton Heath. Actually, I lied. We've got 60 and then half a mile really to Thornton Heath. So we can see it's a speed restriction of 45. So let's take ourselves up to 45 and sort of hover there, because then we need to drop 20 miles an hour to get into the station anyway. So there's no point in pushing ourselves all the way up to 60. And there's 45. You can see we're pretty much near enough at the 45. So when we get there, we're actually going to start braking and take 20 miles an hour off. So we're in for 25 into Thornton Heath. So there's no point at all getting anywhere near 60. Well, I've got wheel slip now. No, I messed that one up. That's still not bad, just a bit of wheel slip. Nobody died though. Where's the motor? It's there, I think. Yeah, a bit past that one this time, but only just. You win some, you lose some. Let's go. So Norbury is in 1.2 miles. So we could probably get closer to 60. And we may not make it all the way to 60, but we can definitely have a go at getting closer to 60. How are we doing for time? We are about a minute behind at the moment, just literally about 57 seconds behind schedule, so if we can get close to 60, try and reclaim some of that time, we will. Also, we don't want to try and get the wheel slip problem again. Nor do we want a speeding problem in this weather. So there's 50, let's take the speed right off and just sort of coast through, because we've got to remember to get the speed down quicker than we did last time. So 50 is probably about right. Coasting at neutral and we're losing speed very, very slightly, but it's probably enough. Start putting some brakes on there. Get ourselves down to, as I said, 25 is the goal to come into the platform at. And this way we avoid the wheel slip problem again. Okay, so haven't seen the forecast stop yet. It's going to be at the end, yeah, it's an all stop. So all trains stop at that distance there. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. And the whole train is again on the platform. This is where you really do, as I said, like the wheel slipping on this is very easy to do. So you do just have to put a bit of thought into it. It's not just straight up sort of like run and gun, jump in and Bob's your uncle. And when you do sort of like the free drive stuff, you can get into a diesel or an old school loco and go through the whole startup procedure as well. It's all simulated. These are all just sort of scenarios, so you just sort of jump in and it's all ready to go. Saves a bit of time, but if you want to sort of spend a bit more time with it, you can as well. That's the other sort of good thing about this. But again, we're not going to really push much past 45 here. It's probably enough for us. We've made up a bit of time. We're only about sort of 30 seconds behind now, so that's fine. Let's find that forecast stop, or is it an all-car stop again? 4's pretty much there. Where that happy young chappie is. There we go. Starting to get the hang of this weather. So we're 25 seconds behind schedule at the moment. That was due at 15:51 and 25 seconds, and that was 15:51 and 50 seconds, so we're doing alright. David says a massive learning curve. In what sense? Because like this is not super difficult to get into. Like there's certainly a few things you have to get your head around for sure. But once you jump into this, it's really quite intuitive. And it's the idea of it as well. It's a game, like it's supposed to be enjoyable. So there's a lot of systems that aren't simulated, but the train is functional, so you don't have to worry about learning the whole in and outs of it. But there is a level of depth that you can get to with this. So Balham is just under 2 miles away, and we've got this 60 speed restriction, so we'll probably be able to get closer again to 60 on this. Still at 45 restriction at the moment. There's the 60, so let's push up. We won't go straight to 100, just don't want that wheel slip penalty again. We can probably push up there now, and hopefully reclaim some of this time. So get close to 60. Still climbing. Still climbing. There, it's pretty much holding. I'm not going to add any more power because we will be slowing down to 40 very shortly. Oh, that rhymed. From engine start, etc. Would love it though. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, I may do that on another video, but it's not fully replicative. But you certainly get all the engine startup sounds, and that's very lovely. Yeah, so it's not as fully in depth as some of the others. Like for example, my flight simulator. I know this isn't a flight channel, but just to give it a comparison, the flight simulator, you have to learn the aircraft, and you really have to learn the full start procedures, like every button and switch and knob and panel is modelled and replicative of the real aircraft, depending on which one you buy. But the one that I've got is an expensive model, so it does have those features, and you have to learn the aircraft and you go through the full startup procedures. It's not as in-depth as that in Train Sim, but you do get to go through the engine startup stuff. But you don't. It's not anywhere near the level of complication that you sort of worried there may be. So don't sort of worry too much about it, David, in that sense. Let's keep an eye for the forecast stop, because the weather here is preventing me from being able to see it very well. There's an all stop at the end there, so we'll coast on down. Yep, we're all on. And where's the all stop? Oh, that's the wrong end of the platform. What am I talking about? Yeah, that was almost actually pretty much perfect. So everything that I've sort of mentioned around here is this is sort of like your G-force meter. So I said where you get sort of like penalised for having people having too fast pullaways and stuff. You want this in the green. Yellow is acceptable, but for example, if I do the pullaway here at 20%, you see there's hardly any movement here. If I increase that to sort of like 40%, he says, you get like a bit more movement. And again, with the stopping into the stations, you get sort of like that. If you're too hard on it, and you'll get penalised. So you want to keep this G meter in sort of like the green area. So that's, and in this weather, it's going to be quite impossible because of the wheel slip. But if you do like a full power ram out of the platform, when you pull away, you will get that into the red. Like you'll get people in back of their seats or going forward, and yeah, that's where you get penalised for that. So you want to be keeping this in the green. And it's the same if you've got like curving banks and that, really. I'm going to take the power right off here because we're approaching the next station already. And as like I said, we want to be at 25 in. Foxy Master, hello, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining and stopping in. Glad to have you here. Let's get that speed right down to 25 like I want it. And then we can have a look for the forecast stop, because this is difficult in this weather. I think it's an all-car stop at the end again. Yes, it is. Nailed it! So Foxy Master, hi, said welcome to the channel. Sorry, I just was bringing the train to a stop there. How are you? Hope you're well. Again, thanks for dropping in. We should be nearing the end of this run. I think we've got to only have a few stations left. And we're doing well for time again. Clapham Junction, platform 16. I think the next stop is our terminating stop. Even at just under 1.3 miles. See if there's any sort of like interior reading light or similar. don't think there is. Cab light. There we go. Right, so we've got a warning coming up. It's going to be a speed restriction. There it is, 20, so let's start taking some power off. Not too much too quickly because the wheel slip. We've got a bit of distance to go, so we don't have to do it too fast. Foxmore says, I'm okay, I don't know when you have... Why when you have to... Sorry, I'll read that in just 2 seconds, hang on. I don't know why when you have 2.2k subs in live you have 9 people who watch you. Yeah, it's also down to people's availability, because like when you've got 2.2k subs, people can watch your videos as and when, but when you're live, you know, 2,500 people may not be available, and not everybody likes live videos as well, and this content is not for everybody, I understand, i.e. the train simulation stuff. But I have found that the live videos I've done do get a lot of views like later. Like I think the one from last week has already had like, you know, a few hundred views. And when you consider the length of the video compared to my normal videos, I think people catch up with them. But yeah, in terms of the actual live at the time, you know, it's people's availabilities. It's a Saturday. I lost track of my days there. It's a Saturday evening. People may be out. People may be with the family as well. It all depends on when you do it. But yeah, if I could have 2,500 people in my live stream, that'd be wonderful. Right, let's get this speed down to 10. It's 20 for crossing the point, 10 for entering the platform here. This is pretty much 10 miles an hour here. This is the maximum speed. The platform 16. Which means it should be easier at least to find our forecast stop this time. He says. And there it is. We did just get a warning there for the double yellow, but I think this is where we terminate anyway. How's about that? A little bit shy, but all on the platform and all within the speed constraints for that. Double yellow head. I'm not sure if this... I'm pretty sure this is our terminating for the sim, but I'm not sure. We may have to continue on after this. We won't know until the passengers are fully embarked and disembarked. You've successfully completed your journey to Clapham Junction. It's time to take a well-earned break and let the next driver take over. Well done. At least that one allowed us to complete the scenario properly. We've got a silver star for that. Happy with that. Where did we get some penalties for? A late penalty, a late penalty, a late penalty. 34 seconds, 28 seconds, 18 seconds, 3 and 1 second late penalty. For 1 second late, 89. For 3 seconds late, 87 points. So we got wheel slip for deductions. They were the only things we got deductions for actually, but wheel slips we got positive ratings for everything else. We were only a few seconds late really to most stations, so all in all I think that's an acceptable performance. It was worthy of a silver star apparently, so can't go wrong with that. Right, let me have a quick look for this station for you, Paddington. Now that will be on, bear with me just 1 second, I'm on my other PC here. Paddington Station. Great Western. So yes, the Great Western is definitely on here. And we do Korea, Great Western Main Line. Starting from Reading, performing all stop service, finishing at Oxford on that one. Not that one, so let's try standard. Great Western. Going from Reading. From Slough to Paddington, so yes, definitely Paddington is on here, my friend. It's under the Great Western, so that's on there. Foxy Master, I have a good question. You have plans about another simulator like Trains with a Z Simulator 12 or Polish Sim Mazanja? This seems really good, but Polish signals and AI is hard to learn. I have looked at Trains with a Z simulator before. I've not looked at a Polish one because I don't know anything about the Polish railways. And as I spoke about at the beginning of the video, I've only really sort of learnt the TVM signalling for sort of France and Europe through this anyway. So learning a whole nother set of signals would be probably a no-go for me at the moment. Bearing in mind this is a stopgap for until I can get the layout built. So this is not going to be a sort of permanent thing for the channel. If there's a demand for it, we may dip in and out of these sort of videos every now and then. But yes, so we may look at another simulator, but for now we've got so much left to do on this simulator. There's so many things on here left to do. I may come back to it to another time. David, brilliant, thanks. Yep. What we'll do, I'm not going to do a simulation, but that's from Slough to Paddington. Is there one that starts at Paddington that I can show you? The station, the rush hours began and your rail passengers open a swift journey home. Your way out of London. Maybe this one starts there. Well, I'm not going to do the simulation, but hopefully this will start there just so you can see the Paddington station itself. But yeah, while we're quickly waiting for that to load, is there any, I know I've asked this a few times, but is there any other sort of type of simulations that you guys would like to see? Obviously I'm going to quickly show Paddington for David here, but is there any sort of other types of things that you guys would like to see that I could maybe do for the next one? Otherwise, are you guys just happy for me picking a few bits and just enjoying what I'm doing? I might do another video on the high speed line and show the TVN signalling, but since we've done that last week I didn't want to do that again this week. Right, so this looks like it is Paddington to me, so we're going to get negative points for this, but yeah, this is Paddington. So not all of it is simulated like is in London, but the bits from the view of the train would be. This is the station here. The main features are obviously there, that's what people are looking for, I guess. I'll do that every time. That's the one I want. Try that one. There we go, we get a view of the outside there. It's quite good. So we're not going to run this here, but yeah, Paddington is definitely on there, my friend. We'll do that another day. Scrapline, hey, my friend Tim, you're reaching us at the end of the stream, but thanks very much for stepping in. I could have used you earlier, needed an admin, because I made myself famous. Check this out. I had a troll in here spamming the chat. That's when you know you've made it, isn't it, when you get a troll? So I needed an admin, but, you know, you're here now, but I've sorted that one out. But yeah, could have done with you earlier, my friend. But thanks for stopping in. It's greatly appreciated. Tom Sword, hi James. Truly don't mind which simulation. Awesome. We'll see what we're going to do for the next time then, if people really are not that mind. And David, excellent. Thanks very much. Right, as I said, we've done the introduction on the TVM signalling. We've done a nice and easy passenger service, a nice and easy freight service, and a troubling passenger service through snow and heavy weather. We've had a look at Paddington. We've had a couple of good chats going on as well. I'm going to leave it here for now. We've done enough for tonight, and also I've got to be up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning for work tomorrow, so I need to go to bed. But yes, for those that were here, thanks. I really do genuinely really appreciate you giving me your time to come and watch what I'm doing. So thank you genuinely for sticking by and watching this. I hope that you've enjoyed it. At the very least, it's been entertaining in some way. I may do just one more of these after the Christmas, very beginning of the new year, maybe just before, and then it's going to be pretty much straight on to the new build. But I'd say I'm going to be playing this in the meantime, so I may decide to stream one more session, maybe. But I'm not going to bombard the channel with them. That's not what I really want it to be about. Darn low, I'll get in on the next one. Yeah, no worries, man. It's not a problem at all. There was a lot of interesting language coming on. It's been deleted from the chat, but if you look in the bottom sort of left where the chat is there, that obviously records chat. So when the stream sort of goes back and playable, it'll be permanently recorded on there, because it's obviously won't be on the actual YouTube live chat, but on the actual text chat that's on the screen that gets saved and recorded. So not a problem. But yeah, so like I said, we're going to get, for those that are not super in love with these videos, I get it, honestly, I do understand. That's not everyone's cup of tea. But this isn't going to be the channel from now on. This is what I'm doing and sort of sharing a bit with you. It's my channel. It's about what I enjoyed to do with the railways on this one, and this is part of that. So as I said, it's not going to be forever. The layout is coming. It's just going to be in the new year. So between now and then, that's why I'm sort of doing these. So if you're enjoying them, I really appreciate it. Give us a like. That always helps. And if you're not a subscriber, again, really don't have to at all, but it would be really appreciative if you subscribe. It does all help in the long run. But yeah, and even if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and let me know constructively why. If there's something I can change, I will. I'll be more than happy to take on the advice, because this is sort of a new platform, so we'll go from there. Anyway, waffling as I always do, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching, and if I don't speak to you before, I hope you all and your families and your friends have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year, and hopefully I'll be back before the new year anyway, but definitely in the new year. So yeah, I probably won't be back before Christmas, so have a merry Christmas. I hope that Santa brings you everything you want, and yeah, thanks again, really appreciate you being here. Bye bye.